Welcome to NX for Manufacturing Tech Tips. Today's tech tip is on the Manufacturing Resource Library and how you can use it to manage vendor tool catalogs, create tool assemblies, and directly access tools in NX CAM. The demonstration will last approximately 20 minutes, and then we'll open up the line for Q&A using the chat window. With that, I'd like to turn it over to Corson Brewer. Corson's going to be doing the demonstration today. Welcome, Corson.
Hello, this is Corson Brewer, out of Switzerland right now, working for the Manufacturing Business Group within Siemens PLM software. We would like to go today, or would like to go with you today through some activities we do around tool data management. If we look at these, basically we're taking two different views on what's all about tool data management. So one thing obviously is the tool libraries itself. So that is the content of today's tech tip discussion or presentation. And then obviously within our portfolio we're talking about the physical tool data management, when a library tool will become a tool that is going to be used at the shop floor. So this comes out of all of our individual components for part manufacturing, all about handling product data, process data, the resources, that's what we're talking about, and obviously the plant data, so where the data or where your products will be manufactured. So if we look at the view on how the data that we define in a library, such as the Manufacturing Resource Library we're going to talk about today, it's obviously obvious that we need to have the capabilities to retrieve data from tool vendors. So therefore we have launched the IMTS show this year, a collaboration or initiative together with Sandvik Coromant, in order to standardize tool catalog data into based on the ISO standardization. That will allow you to go basically to supply a web page, to pick a tool from, for instance, from the web page, export it in the format you want to use for this ISO format, and then to retrieve it into multiple tool libraries, such as we're presenting with MRL. So this tool then, once we have retrieved those tools from the catalog and created our own, we call that our customer tools. In that case, we're gonna combine different components into a tool assembly and use those tools at different places. So for instance, we want to use them in the CAM software such as NX CAM, but also we want to do simulation after we have created the tool pass on it. So we want to do simulation on a tool pass also for in order to figure out if we have any collisions or not. So, but that is not where we want to stop here. We're going to go then to the tool inventory. So it means we define on one single place in the Manufacturing Resource Library, we define the tools that we want to use. But then we want to reuse it not only in NX, not only in the CAM application, the simulation, but we also want to use it at the presetter. So we have the capabilities to send this data to the tool presetter to get the measured data back. So the physical tool is being created, and then obviously this information is being sent to a machine tool controller as well, so that we do not have to go back and forward with paper or print on some stickers the data out, but directly connect to the machine tool. Also to do, to analyze and basically track remaining tool life of the individual physical tools. And then another important thing as well is the tool stock management, obviously the inventory of the tools. So to know where the tools are located in the shop floor. But for today, we will talk about the upper level of this data, so how we manage the tool libraries within the manufacturing resource library. So the concept is is not complicated. So we're going to start with the tool vendor catalog as mentioned before. So we could basically make available multiple tool vendor catalogs. So the structure, the environment that we have in place is open to import all sorts of data and create individual catalogs. As mentioned in the beginning, so we have launched this ISO-based tool catalog, which basically should combine instead of having for all different tool suppliers to have an individual tool catalog, so we can have a combined way, basically my combined tool catalog you could use. Then, obviously, what we're providing today is a components structure. So this component structure as well based on industry standard. We have about 300 tool classes for the individual tool components. And we have about 60 tool classes for tool assemblies. And obviously, once everything is set up, so you went from the vendor catalog into your component in your component structure, then over into the assembly structure, then you're able to use this tool in a CAM application such as NX-CAM. So picking the data from the vendor catalog, transferred, or we provide mapping mechanisms, which we're going to demonstrate in a while, mapping the data from the catalog environment into the My Tool Components area. So these are the tool components you really have in your library to be used then and assembled in My Tool Assembly area. And from there to be used in the CAM application in order to calculate the tool passes. So with this, we will move over. I'll close here the presentation, and we will just switch over to the Teamcenter environment. So what you can see here, that's the manufacturing resource library based on Teamcenter. So I'm just going to switch first to the classification environment, and here we are in the middle of the library. So means at this point we have a resource management environment. We do have different sections in here. Today we will be focusing on the My Tools section, but obviously within this manufacturing resource library you can basically classify all sorts of information or all sorts of resources you need for your manufacturing environment, such as the machine tools, such as devices for the machine tools, fixtures, fixtures assembly, components, robots, weld guns, whatever you want to do. So it's basically it is a very flexible environment that allows you to customize or to adopt. It's not a customization, but it's to configure your own class and your own classes as well. Within the My Tools environment, so we will have two sections. So one is the My Tool Assemblies, which will build the tool assemblies that we're going to use in the CAM application, obviously, and then further down on the presetter. And obviously the My Tools section, where we do have My Tool Component section, where we do store all the different tool components. Just to give you a little idea, so for instance, if we go into the milling tools, so we're going to have solid mill cutters, we're going to have indexable cutters, we're going to have end mills down here, we're going to have different types of end mills, and basically all these tool classes will contain the individual or a lot of attributes that can be defined in order to define a tool component. So for now, we're going to play basically this through this scenario where we go and we'll pick a tool from the vendor catalog. So we'll use the ISO catalog structure. Here, in that case, we have branded it by Sandvik components. So we have tool items, adaptive items, inserts, assembly items, and so on. So we'll just pick the tool items section. I just run a wildcard search, so no specific searches again or no against the database. I'll have 25 hits, and then with this we can basically see the list here in the table view. We can see the list of the components or the list of the tool components that are available right now in the catalog. So we're going to pick one tool here by double-clicking it, and then with that you will get the tool coming from the Sandvik library. In this case, from the Sandvik catalog, it has all the necessary attributes. Information's filled out. It has a class. It comes along with a class image that will tell you the most important attributes, and it can contain also 2D or 3D data that will be attached to it. So for now, this component is in the tool library, in the tool catalog. So what I want to do next is I just want to map this object into my components, my tool component section. Means we want to create a new tool number. So we're going to create a new number, which is which will be retrieved from Teamcenter. We can name it. So name that. Oh, it's my drill D12. I know that's a 12mm drill. And now what happens is we will extract this data out of the catalog and map it to the component section. So to my tool component section. Means that is my personal library or our company library where we store the tools at this level, and then we can, or from this point on, we are able to how shall I say, to map it into or to combine it into a tool assembly. So we're gonna now as next. Now we have this tool in our library. So we are also able to show, for instance, different let's say attributes that are necessary once for graphics creation, or the data that will be mapped into the CAM system as well. As you can see, some of the data is filled, so there are still, by the standard, there are still data that could be enhanced as well. But this is good enough for us, the data that comes from the catalog, so to build up a tool assembly. As you can see, we have created an object. We have created an object ID or an item 41000 So having this new component in our tool library, we will just go and basically create now a new tool assembly. So we're going to create a brand new tool assembly. Therefore, as well, we're going to pick the type of it. So it will be a tool, an ANSI tool. We call that an ANSI tool. And it will be my drill assembly diameter 12. And this is what we are going to create. And we just create this new tool assembly. Now, what type of tool will it be? Well, it will be obviously a drilling tool. So we will store that into the drilling tools, into the twist drill tools, and as you can see now we're in the assembly section of it. So we get a nice preview or a nice classification view that gives me the most important attributes or informations for me in order to have this assembly put together, and I will just call it drill E12 again. So that is what will be shown up in NX when I call this tool. So now we're going to add to this tool assembly, which is empty right now. We're just going to add a classified component. So we're going to search for the tool component we just created. So let me pick it here. So that was the 417. So we'll bring up the match so we can search through the classification structure here. Pick this 417. That is the tool we just got out of the catalog right now, and we'll just add it as a first component to our tool assembly. So now we can put the visualization on. So what you can see is that we do now have this graphics window coming up. We see the component that we have selected here at this time, and I'll just now with that we can basically go and add an additional component to it. So from this here we have the capabilities just by selecting this little arrow. This allows us now run the guided component search. So it means this tool component will search for components that fits to this diameter, for instance, of it, right? So I will run this, and it will come up with a window and telling me basically what are the available tool holders or extension that fits to this tool component. So I'll just basically select one of the tool components. So I want to pick this captor adapter and just select the captor adapter to be added to this tool component. So in that case, so what you will see is that this captor adapter is just added on the right place for this tool assembly. And there we are. Our tool assembly is basically fixed at this time, and we have the capability now just to define the propagation start point. So that is something we will need to propagate the attributes, so like the diameter, the length of the tool, up to the tool assembly level. So by doing this, so all the information coming from the tool component will be propagated up and built into this italic written attribute fields as well. Just open this up a little bit so you'll see how this happens. So you'll see here that the attributes like the shank diameter, the cutting diameter, and so on and so forth just came up like this. And now we're ready we have basically our tool assembled. We are ready to open this in NX, and right now we have to do just a few manual steps at this moment in order to finalize the tool assembly. I'll just add the components into the NX environment. So this will show up as the final tool assembly, and we will just give some additional information to it, such as a definition of where it will be held in a machine tool. So we call that a tool mount junction. So I'll just define the place it will be held on the machine tool, and then obviously we're going to add as well a tool tip junction. So where is this tool guided? So what is the tip of the tool? And there we are. So now the tool is completely ready for being used in the CAM application. Therefore, I'm just going to close this tool assembly, and I'll just switch and open up the latest little setup. So that in the next step, I just want to show you how you can use the tool we just created and stored in the database in the CAM the CAM application. So here we are. We're in the library selection. In the library selection, I can go for the drilling tool. So we have basically exactly the same view, but now only on the tool assemblies. And we can go and search for twist drill, and we have the same preview image as well here. We can go and say we want to go for a drill diameter 12 tool, and we'll pick the last one, the drill 418 we've just created. Could do a preview on it, but we will just use that now for the calculation of this toolpath. And there we are. We have created those 3 holes. And we can obviously go and visualize that as well, so we can run the simulation of it. So the tool is loaded out of the library. That's the tool we just created before, and we can basically animate the tool paths, and you can see the material removal all shown up in an X. So, thank you.
Okay, good.